In the old days, video games used to put us on an adventure of the hero character. Mario had to go through Mushroom Kingdom to save the princess from evil. Lara Croft and Nathan Drake traveled around the world to investigate many different secret tombs with the goal of finding the treasure and eventually saving the world. Solid Snake never admitted he was a hero himself.
I'm no hero. Never was. I'm just an old killer, hired to do some wet work.
Even he's such a badass, he's actually a hero deep down who values discipline, loyalty, and responsibility. With time passing by, more and more video games nowadays are playing on the dark side of players' human psychology. Truth, justice, and greater good seems to be out of fashion. Horror, violence, and evil seems to be more realistic mirrors of the dark real world we live in, and allow more population of gamers to fend off some steam in the fantasy world. Perhaps the flaws and twisted aspects of the main character is more relatable to our imperfect human psyche we all share. In this video, I'll show you why some video games satisfy the needs of our dark side and talk about the importance of understanding the psychology behind it so that we can integrate this powerful force into our real lives. In our everyday social life, most of us would agree that people are usually quite pleasant and agreeable. We feel pressured to present a nice and friendly persona because of the need to fit into a group. To be socially accepted, we learned to tamp down and restrain the dark side of our personality. Beneath this social mask is a dark side that we rarely see, as if we only see a two-dimensional, flat image of people, which is their pleasant social side. Famous Swiss psychologist Carl Jung called the apparently missing darker side of people's character the shadow. Recognizing the features of the shadow makes people come to life in 3 dimensions. According to Jung, the shadow consists of all the qualities people try to deny about themselves and repress, which is then buried deeply underground into the shadow. People are genuinely unaware of their shadow because it operates unconsciously. We cannot admit to ourselves certain desires for sex, lust, for money, for power, for revenge, for violence, for dominance. So instead, we project those desires onto others, sometimes even projecting onto video games. We can see signs of our shadow in how deeply and secretly we are all drawn to the dark side in video game culture. There is a whole list of games under the category of villain protagonist on Steam. When we are in certain moods, we would be thrilled when playing games that allow us to do some pretty fucked up things without consequences, satisfying our destructive and violent impulse. Some games will give you the option to be evil, while others require morally grey decisions to be made. There are even a few games out there that surprise players' expectation by making you play the villain unknowingly, making it all the more immersive and mind-blowing for the player.
Just come after her.
With these video games, we can always become moralistic and say how much we despise such evil villains or characters. But the truth is that the video game industry feeds us these figures because we are hungry for expressions of our dark side. All of these not-so-right video games provides a degree of release from the tension we experience in having to play the apparently good guy all the time and seem so nice and righteous. While these video games could serve as a way to let out our repressed aggression, they won't help to integrate our shadow into real life, which requires our conscious understanding and effort. The goal of shadow integration in our personality is for us to become more authentic and complete humans, making the most of the maximum energies we naturally possessed as a child. The first step is not more repression and trying to be nicer, but the solution is to observe our shadow in action and become more self-aware. This could be quite difficult, as it is much easier to dig up and criticize about the dark qualities of other people. But it is unnatural for us to look inward at the dark side of ourselves. Look deeply at your own tendencies to project emotions and bad qualities onto other people, or even video game characters. For example, say you really hate certain narcissistic or manipulative villain character. What might be happening is that you are probably reacting against your own narcissistic tendencies and secret desire to be more assertive and strategic in the form of hatred, we are more sensitive to the dark side in others that we are repressing in ourselves. By honestly discovering the dark qualities within ourselves, we can reconnect with the lost, authentic parts of ourselves. The next step to shadow integration is to embrace it. Before the process of integration, we often feel ourselves split into two separate selves. For example, on the one hand, I have an ambitious and unsatisfied nature. On the other, I have a sensitive and emotional side that would often pull me down into depressive moods. Even my taste in gaming shows the split of myself. I used to enjoy competing with online players on Battlefield 4, trying to score a better kill-death ratio every match. I also loved flying an F-16 on the blue sky in Ace Combat all by myself, just enjoying the beautiful scenery, the peace and closeness to the infinite. In certain moods of anger, shooting demons and ripping monsters apart with bare hands in the fiery hell of doom would be deeply satisfying to my dark side of my soul. As I became more mature, I got interested in psychology and philosophy, but still unwilling to give up my obsession of video games since childhood. I thought about how I could express all these seemingly opposite interests in a way that could be meaningful and beneficial to the world. That's how the idea of creating this YouTube channel came from, so that I could be free to express my love, hate, passion, ambition, and desire for recognition and fulfillment. Sometimes, what you were made to feel ashamed of, like playing video games, could be things that spark a real sense of excitement. Instead of listening and conforming to others, pay attention to your dark qualities that could lead to your real self. The final step of integration is to show your shadow. Most of the time, we secretly suffer from being so nice and agreeable, always going along with the group, and pleasing other people just hoping to be liked. By playing the social game too much, we are bound by too many rules. We slowly become defensive and resentful. Being too nice also could become a habit, which easily turns into timidity, lack of confidence, and indecision. Look at those who are highly successful in their field. They are much less bound by the social game. They are generally more assertive and outwardly ambitious. They care much less what others think of them. They really don't give a fuck. So we must learn to respect our own opinions more and others less. Get in the habit every day of asserting ourselves more and compromising less, and stop caring what other people think of you. You will feel a tremendous sense of liberation. If necessary, you must even offend and hurt people who block your path, who are unjust. Once you show your shadow, you have released your demons and turned them into your ally. Just like in Dark Souls, absorbing the soul of demons makes you more powerful. Evil had existed since the dawn of time. The dark forces not only exist in the real world, but there is also a devil within every human soul. Even children are not innocent angels that they seem to look like. So instead of trying to deny and repress the dark side of ourselves, we must accept and confront it. Instead of being manipulated by those dark forces in the corners of our personalities, we can make friends with evil and channel this energy into good and creative work. Now, have some fun playing some dark video games that make you feel like a bad guy. It is my turn to show my shadow. Oh, subscribe.